In this video today, we're going to be going over my six-figure day trading strategy that I have used to extract over $100,000 in payouts from futures prop firms. And this is a strategy that you're going to be able to watch this video. And by the end of it, you are going to be able to start executing this strategy yourself to start taking more payouts, start taking more consistent payouts, start making more money, earn yourself an extra side income, reach your goals, whatever you want to do this year. This strategy can definitely help you do all that. So we're on TradeZella. We got a little back testing session going on. And the very first thing I do, I sit down once I have decided that I'm locked in. I, don't have any distractions. I don't have anything else going on in my life that I'm thinking about or worrying about or whatever. I'm only trading when I'm fully locked in, fully ready to go. And the first thing I'm going to do when I sit down on the charts is I'm going to go to the 1 hour because we are going to need a high time frame bias. So it is very important that we get this high time frame bias figured out because this strategy is going to be a high time frame trend following strategy. We are going to always, not sometimes, not probably, not most of the time, always. We are always going to be taking trades in the direction of the high time frame trend. So when I look at this 1 hour right here, this is just a random day. It's June 1st of 2026. I know I had a really good month in June, so I figured, hey, this would probably be a good month to go over. So this is the high time frame trend. This is the 1 hour, and you can see here, we're going to draw out some lines. You can see that so far, we did break this high. We've had a couple of these 1 hour candles closing up above this high. So that means we are forming some higher highs, and we haven't really had any of our lows being broken. You can see here, here's a low that has not been closed below. Here's another low that has not been closed below. And here is even a low that kind of got like wicked, or, maybe it's kind of got like equal lows going on there, but we have a bunch of lows that are not broken. We have our most recent high being broken. We can also zoom back a little bit further out and see we have a high being broken there as well. So for the most part, this is how I'm identifying that we have a bullish trend going on the 1 hour. We are forming higher highs. We are forming higher lows. We are not forming lower lows. We're not breaking resistance levels to the downside, anything like that. This to me is just a very clear uptrend, very clear bullish market on the 1 hour. So that's great. That's awesome. Now we're going to go to the 1 minute. I'm constantly going back and forth between the 1 hour and the 1 minute because even during the same session, even during the same day, whatever, the high time frame trend can change. You constantly need to be making sure that you're looking in the right direction, making sure that nothing's changed, making sure that your bias hasn't flipped or anything like that. But I'm looking at the 1 hour for the high time frame trend, and I'm going down to the 1 minute for my executions. And on the 1 minute, it's going to be a lot of the same stuff. Now, the main focus of this strategy and our main point of entry is going to be breaks of structure. Now, we would also, in like the best setup in the world, the A+++ setup, we would also like to see some rejection candles. We would also like to see rejection wicks, going against in the opposite way that we are looking to ride the trend. Those aren't as necessary, but those are always good to have. But the main thing here is trading in the direction of the high time frame bias and then entering on breaks of structure on the 1 minute. So here I have pulled up what I think is a very good example, and this is the first trade that we're going to be showcasing here. We have, this is like 9:32 on this day. Again, I love to trade New York. I love to have the volatility. I love to have, the times where things are actually happening. I love that when I find a good trade setup that it actually goes in my direction. I can be in and out of trades quick, and we can actually get things done. Sometimes you're on like a random time, you're at 9 p.m. or something like that. And even when a good trade setup forms, one, it can be choppy and that's just going to chop you up or waste your time or whatever. But also, even when you do get a good setup, you might be in it for like 3 hours or have to be in it overnight or whatever. Like, no, I like New York. I like the New York Open. The strategy works well during the New York session, during the New York Open. Most specifically, that first hour and a half of New York is really good for stuff like this. So we're looking at the 9:30 New York Open. We open right here. Actually on the 9:30, this red candle. We go down a little bit. Again, we are bullish. We are looking for longs. First candle goes down. That's totally fine. Next candle goes up. Doesn't really reach any significant levels. And then this candle right here, the 9:32, this one breaks the structure of this right here. And again, if we want to talk about some like rejection wicks and stuff like that, look at this bunch of 3 wicks right there. Those are all rejecting to the downside. Now, we do also have some rejection wicks to the upside as well, which is not great to see, but I'm using the break of structure that we saw to the upside, especially when, you can zoom out a little bit and see that we're like pretty, I didn't mean to draw these lines over here, but you can see we're like pretty down low. So we even have a lot of room to run up. I am going to be valuing this break of structure right here and closing above this line way more than I'm going to be valuing some of these rejection wicks to the upside. And I do like that we have some of those rejection wicks at least to the downside as well. Not massive, not huge, anything like that, but it's just a bonus on what I would already consider a very good entry. So now we are going to be entering in here, and on my prop firm account specifically, I want to be very aggressive. I want to try to get, like the minimum amount of trades I need to get those payouts. So we're going to be on a 50K account with 2K drawdown. We're actually going to be risking the whole thing. And I know that might sound crazy. This might sound like churn and burn, whatever, but it's going to, if you have a strong setup with a good win rate, it's going to get you to your payouts. It's going to get you making money. And obviously sometimes you're going to blow accounts. Sometimes you're going to blow evals, whatever, but you got to spend money to make money. Sometimes it is an investment. You have to see it as a business. So we're going to line this trade up to get whatever we need to do to make this trade make sense. That's why I like trading MNQ, because with MNQ, you can have the full customizability of the trade. If you're just NQ, you can do 1 NQ, you can do 2 NQ. But if I'm MNQ, I can do 7, 9, 13, 17. I can actually make this trade fit the structure and fit the setup that I'm going for most specifically. So we're entering on that break of structure there. We know that we're going long. High time frame bias told us we're long. The trade now, the structure on the 1 minute is telling us that we're long, telling us it's time to get in. So let's just say we're going to enter in the 5 MNQ, for example. Let's see where this takes us. Our stop loss, it's always going to go at the bottom of the most recent swing low. So it's going to go, whatever the most recent structure that we have nearest to our trade, that is where our stop loss is going to go. And again, we're going to try to make that number equal 2,000. So with 10 contracts, we're probably going to be a little bit above 2,000, which is not exactly what we want. We're going to be at 2155. So maybe we can sell one. Maybe we'll go with 9 MNQ here, and it's going to get us probably as close to we can to being perfect here. Yeah, 1953, not the end of the world, not the best, but it's still going to work. And then we're going to be going for $1,500 of profit. We're going to be going for, it ends up being like a 0.75 RR trade. And again, this works for your evals, but it also works for your funded as well. Again, on a funded with the 50% consistency rule, you need to get 3,000 before you lose 2,000, but you can only get 1,500 per day. So this works out perfectly for that. And then once you're on the funded account, 1,500 is a good number because if your first trade you hit for a $1,500 win, then you just need a couple $150 days or whatever the minimum to count as a trading day. Sometimes it's 100, 150, 200. You just need a couple more of those until you're able to get to that $2,000 threshold, usually for what like a $1,000 payout is going to be on your prop firms. Then again, if you hit a couple trades in a row, maybe you're able to level up that payout, whatever. So we're going to be going for $1,500 worth of profit. We need to find out exactly where that's going to be. We're just kind of eyeballing it. That's 13. Okay, 1570, a little bit below there. 1516, sure, we'll call it that. Close enough. Again, obviously, when you are trading on your account, you want it to be like precise, you want it to be specific, whatever. But this is going to be more than good enough for what we're trying to do right now, just for this exercise. So again, I've set everything up. We found what we're looking for on the 1 hour. We've waited until the 1 hour and the 1 minute align. Again, you have the high time frame and the kind of the more fine, the smaller time frames aligning together. And when those are both on the same page, that's probably a pretty good sign that the trade is also going to be going in that direction. So now we can see how this trade played out. First time we can start going down a little bit, and then we get another big candle in our direction. Again, this is also a very good sign for me. During the trade, when you start to see strong candles in your direction, again, not only is this a displacement candle, a candle with almost no wick at the top, very strong movement, you also have this candle breaking this structure right here, which is definitely not a bad sign to see at all. And then again, if you want to talk about rejection wicks, you have a couple of rejection wicks down here that show us price tried to move down, got rejected, and is now going back up, and going back up very ferociously with this whole displacement candle. So I'm going to try to erase that real quick, and now we can continue up. I keep accidentally drawing all over the screen. Now we can continue up to see if this trade keeps hitting. We go down a little bit, but that's still okay. Again, we close higher again. That's great. If we could break this structure up here, that would be a very good sign for this trade. We start to go down a little bit, but we're not panicking. Again, we've set up this trade. And one thing I'm not going to do during this trade, this is really important to note as well. One thing I'm not going to do during this trade, I'm not going to touch it. I'm not moving to break even. I'm not moving my stop loss. I'm not taking profit early. Like, no, the trade dictated itself before we got in. We entered at, with a stop loss that made sense, and with a stop loss that was going to invalidate our trade. And we went in with a take profit that we needed for our funded account, that we needed for our eval, that we needed for whatever reason. We had a take profit that made sense to us at the time. We had a stop loss that made sense to us at the time. Now, during the trade, you're going to get a bunch of noise. You're going to get stuff that goes up, down, sideways, diagonal, everything in between. But you need to just let the trade play out. You know, how the math of things is going to work out. You don't want to be messing with it in between, because then you're also throwing psychology changes into it. You're, you know, limiting your gains while you're still going to take full losses and stuff like that. You don't want to do that. You don't want to touch this trade. You just want to let it play out. You have to be ready to take losses. You have to be ready to handle, you know, some trades missing, some trades hitting, whatever, but you need to have a strategy that has edge and let it play out and take a bunch of trades, take a bunch of plus EV, take a bunch of profitable trades, and then over time you'll see that if you have a good strategy, that it will play out over time. So you need to trust it. So again, I don't know if this trade is going to win or not, and we can see it's already chopping, and I know at this point in the trade, some of you out there would probably be panicking. Some of you would want to move to break even. Some of you would maybe have already taken profit by now, whatever, but no. We're staying in this trade. We're going to let it fully play out, and we're going to see what happens. And if it goes to loss, it goes to loss, whatever. But you can see there, it's kind of faking us out. It's chopping up a little bit. And yeah, it's annoying when things chop around, and now we're even going down far. This is not good. You know, we're getting closer to our stop loss, but hey, our stop loss is placed at a good level. It's placed where, you know, our trade would be invalidated. So far, we have not hit that yet. We've not been stopped out, and now it's starting to turn around for us. Okay, hey, again, if we would have panicked when it got down low, we would have already been out of this trade. That wouldn't have been good. Now we're all the way back up into the profits. We're getting closer to that break-even point. It's going all the way around. Now, again, is this like an ideal trade? No, I didn't want to be in this trade for this long. I would have loved to already have hit my take profit by now, but it's okay. The point is, you're not panicking. And again, we had the stop loss set down here because that was when this trade would have been invalidated. That was when we would have formed a new lower low on the 1 minute. That is when this would not have been a bullish setup anymore. But funnily enough, we didn't break that, and now we've rebounded all the way back up. Let's see if we're eventually going to hit profit or not. It's kind of getting later in the day now. It's only 11 a.m., so not bad by any means. We're starting to get closer and closer, and boom, we hit the full take profit. And honestly, this trade was a great example. Again, not only does that show you that, hey, if you trade in the direction of the high time frame and the smaller time frames aligning, you have a higher likelihood of the trade going your way, but it also showed you that during the trade, you don't need to panic. During the trade, you don't need to be touching things. You don't need to be messing with it, because then you're just trading a different strategy. Then you have too many variables going on at once, and you don't know, exactly when you shouldn't move to break even, or when you shouldn't, or, like whatever. I know gurus out there will be like, oh, you just got to know, and you need screen time and whatever. Like, no. There is hard and fast rules, and there's good setups and there's bad setups. There's good things to do and there's bad things to do. So overall, you want to take as many good setups as possible, let them run out, let them play out, and then hopefully at the end of the day, you'll end up with more profit than, you had, obviously. So that's the essence of this strategy that I have used, again, to take 6 figures in prop firm payouts. And I know that you can do it too, because I was just a regular guy. When I first started, found out about day trading, found out about prop firms, whatever, I was working just a regular job, using my paychecks to buy more evals, to blow a bunch of evals, to blow a bunch of funded accounts, strategy hopping all over the place, doing a ton of different things. But eventually I found a strategy that has resonated with me a ton, that I've been able to find success with, consistent payouts, week in, week out, month in, month out, starting to build a track record, starting to build up a really, really nice history. And then once you start taking payouts, you can use that money to buy more accounts and get accounts on different sites and do all these different things. But again, at the core of it, you have to have a very, very solidly, fundamentally solid strategy that you believe in, that you have confidence in. Because if you don't believe in it and you don't have confidence in it, you're going to do weird stuff. You're going to do stupid stuff. You're not going to let the trade play out. You're not going to let the strategy play itself out. And you're going to end up costing yourself more money in the long run. But this is, like I said, the essence of my 6-figure prop firm trading strategy. Find the high time frame bias, and then on the 1 minute, wait for breaks of structure in that direction. Again, bonus points if it's got rejection wicks, bonus points if you can see other things in the market that are going in your direction, that are showing you signs that the market's going to keep moving the way you want it to. And then you're going to set up the trade. Again, when I'm doing evals and prop firms, I'm mostly risking 2,000, trying to win 1,500. And then after you make some profit, then you kind of start to, get the specific numbers that you need and everything like that. But if you do take a $1,500 profit win as your first trade on, a funded account, you're off on the right foot. You're headed in the right direction. You can also size up and size down however you see fit. If you want to say, oh, hey, I like that, but I want to go for a bigger RR, a bigger whatever, that is still fine. And the fundamentals of the strategy are still going to work pretty much exactly the same. So I hope that you guys learned something from this video. I hope it resonated with you. I hope you are able to go out, pass more evals, take more payouts, make more money. And I really do want as many people out there to, achieve their dreams and to get the things out of life that they want it. And I think day trading can be a tool in your tool bag to help you accomplish your goals in life and make some more money and achieve financial freedom or, get your time back and stuff like that, which I think is very, very cool. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Hopefully I catch you in the next one. Until then, peace.